Holidays, and I got frozen there for a minute. Happy holidays. Welcome to another episode of Motivational Moments. And I'm so excited to be with you today. I've got the Christmas spirit, and I'm hoping that you do too. And let's count our blessings during this very troubling and challenging year and have best wishes for 2021. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about the subject of worrying because it's kind of natural for most of us to worry about things. We worry about things that either are happening, we worry about things that we don't know are going to happen, and it causes a lot of stress and strain in our everyday life. I've done a lot of research in the last few days, different articles, different journals, and getting some information that I wanted to share with you that might be helpful, some tips and techniques that could help you overcome excessive worrying. Some worrying is okay because if we can prevent something really negative or bad happening to us. So there is some degree of worrying that is healthy, but I think it's that excessive worrying that we find ourselves doing that could be very destructive to our mental health, our physical health, our immune system, and our overall attitude in life, right? For example, here I am preparing for this, just with researching these articles, right? And statistics and tips and techniques, and going, yeah, I need to do all of that. I do some of it, but I need to do all of these tips and techniques because they make a lot of sense, and I'm just not going to worry as much. So last night I did some last minute Christmas shopping of gifts that I needed to mail out. And I bought a shirt for my dad. And I was so worried that it might not be the right size. It might be too small. But I bought it anyway. And then when I got it home and I wrapped it, I worried about it. And I worried about it. Well, what if it is too small? What if it doesn't fit? You know what? Should I just go back and get the larger size, which they didn't have anyway? Or should I just send it and apologize later if it doesn't fit? I spent so much ridiculously amount of time worrying about a shirt that may or may not fit. Really? Come on. But do you find yourself doing things like that? I do. I think it's natural and normal. But I will tell you this, the more you can isolate those situations and look at them differently and realize, should I be worrying about this? Is this important enough to worry about? And what can I do to change it? Or what can I do to make it go away? So I took some notes on these articles that I found, and I think that besides the normal things that we know help in our mental health, as far as obsessive worrying, we know that if we meditate more, it helps us calm down. If we get more rest, if we eat better, if we exercise, all those things are things that I don't think come to anybody's surprise, that those help our mental health and also can help in eliminating, or not eliminating necessarily, but kind of downplaying our worrying activity in our minds. So we do know all that. But some of the things I found, I'm just going to look at my notes, that I thought was interesting about worrying and what we can do to help counteract it. One psychologist mentioned setting a time. She said, schedule time to worry. That research has found that scheduling time to worry can actually help reduce anxious thoughts and improve sleep. Not bad. Determine the time of day, what works best for you. Length of time can be whatever you feel is necessary. It could be 15 minutes, it could be 30 minutes. So at that designated time, she recommends that you give those worrisome thoughts focused attention. Now, what's kind of cool about it is this is something that you can control, and it can be very empowering because you are designating time to worry. It doesn't take away all the worrying thoughts that you have throughout the day. Those are going to come up. But I wonder if you start trying this, and I'm going to do it as well, scheduling that time, that maybe you kind of get a lot of it out of your system so that when other thoughts come up, that you can change them more easily. And remember, we talked about this in several episodes about how to overcome negative thinking. That's also part of worrying, is that when you have those negative thoughts that come up in your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, when you start going through that negative spiral, a couple things that you can do is either say the word cancel or the word stop. These are techniques that Wayne Dyer has taught me. And when you do that, it changes the pattern of those thoughts. You could take it one step further and you replace those negative thoughts with more positive ones or a positive affirmation so that you literally disrupt that thought and replace it with something else. So that is very helpful. So the number one tip that I've learned is to schedule that time to worry. And depending on what that works for you. Is it in the morning? Is it at night? Whatever works best for you. Now, another thing that we can do, and do probably, is that when we worry about things so much, we end up procrastinating. And when you procrastinate, it kind of just builds up the worry because you're worrying about something that you still aren't getting done. So what a psychologist that I did some of this research online with, she talks about doing a to-do list. And many of us do that, or a checklist and things like that. But by doing a to-do list and by crossing them off every time you complete it, you eliminate or you diffuse some of that negative worrying because you're getting things done. I think some of the things that we worry about are things that we can control and we can schedule to get done. We worry about not getting something done or not having enough time to do a certain task. But if you make a to-do list and then you cross them off as you go, I really believe that we can reduce the amount of worrying that we do about the particular task. For example, I worry about technology. I feel like I'm not strong in technology yet. And I took it upon myself to start an Excel file and put all my contacts in it. And it was very, not painful, but I worried about it so much. And then I worried about it to the point where it can't be that difficult. Why don't I just try it? So I did. And I was so excited. I have people in these little slots that are on a computer program that I really thought was too complicated for me to figure out. So anyway, by doing the task, sometimes you eliminate the worrying activity. Another thing that psychologists recommend is they say talk it out. Talk to your friends or family or trusted advisors about what you're worried about. Now, I will caution you to not overextend your relationships with your friends, family, and coworkers, or psychologists or ministers or other people that could give you advice, because excessive worrying can really wear down, let's say, the people that you love and trust, because at the end of the day, you end up being a complainer. And if you're not taking action in the things that you are worrying about or complaining about, then basically you are taking energy away from those people that are trying to help you, but at the end of the day, it is up to us to solve our problems. But our family and friends could be good sounding boards because they know us the best. Unfortunately, they know a lot more about us that they might be more critical, so keep that in mind. But it is something that psychologists do recommend as far as talking it out. But on the other hand, when we talk about ministers and let's say a health department individual, psychologists, psychiatrists, you know, anybody in a professional field, that's their job. That's their job to help you overcome problems and look at them differently. So I don't think you're taxing them as much as you would be taxing your friends, family, coworkers, and trusted people in your life. So anyway, I hope that makes some sense. But that's just one of the tips that they recommend. Oh, another one I thought was kind of cool is, doing a journal. I've done journals for years, but I go between being conscientious about it to not doing it at all, and then sometimes doing it in between. But what's nice about doing journaling and write down those thoughts that are worrying you, and then write down how you're feeling about it and the emotions that are attached to those particular things that you're worrying about, is that you get it down on paper and it gets recorded and you could look at it again. But also it's a safe place. Hopefully nobody else is reading your journals. And you can be as elaborate and as emotional as you want to be, because you're writing it in something that's safe. So sometimes by just writing it down can help alleviate some of that worrisome thoughts and emotions that come along with our thoughts and feelings. And then the last thing that they talk about is, changing your pattern. And that's what I had talked about before is, worrying can be a pattern of activity. So if we can work at breaking that activity by changing our thoughts, which I told you about before, like saying stop or cancel or things like that, um, we can stop that activity and that pattern. And again, that pattern, and I know a lot of us know people that we call a worry wart or excessive worrying type person, and they always look maybe at the dark side of a situation or worry about things that may have not even occurred yet but could occur, and they worry about it. Well, I think it's good to put a boundary sometimes if you have someone in your life that worries a little bit too much, or excessively being negative and having negative thoughts. Well, not negative thoughts to you, but expressing them out loud. It can be very draining. So sometimes it's good to set parameters up, and it's amount of time, amount of effort, and things like that that could eliminate some of the excessive time that you put into that relationship, that sometimes you just can't solve everybody's problems. And maybe they do need to talk to a professional. And if they talk to a professional, you could relate to them some resources that would be of benefit and of help to them, so that you're not the one trying to answer all their questions or to hear their complaints or their worrisome thoughts that they're expressing to you. I'm exhausted. I don't know about you, but it's all good. It's all good. It's just that I think that the more we can take care of ourselves, self love, self attention, and self care, the better we can be for other people around us, and to also be able to refer people to helpful resources. And you may want to start gathering those so that you have them handy so you could be of more service to others. So hopefully you all have a less worrisome day, worrisome, less worrisome week, month, and year ahead. I hope the tips and techniques helped you. I know I'm for sure going to be practicing them, writing them down, doing a journal, writing down a to-do list and knocking those out so I don't worry about those tasks as much. Try to eliminate those negative thoughts that appear in my thought process and replace them with positive thoughts. And what was the first one? Oh, schedule time to worry. Yeah, schedule time. You'll probably find that, you think, oh, I probably need an hour to schedule time to worry about my thoughts. And then you'll be, well, you know what? I don't know if that's worth worrying about. I don't know if I need that much time. And to get down to the point where maybe 5 minutes is all you need. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate sharing this time and Motivational Moments. I love this group. I'm passionate about my women with guts, and I look forward to getting your feedback as well. So talk to you next week, and have a great week before the next Wednesday Motivational Moments, which is going to be very close to Christmas. So be good, take care, and don't worry. Bye.